welcome to another Carfection Plus, where we take the opportunity to tell you a little story from the world of cars. And today we're talking about this, the BMW M1 Coupe. BMW's M cars represent the highest tier of their performance cars, and you get M flavors of pretty much everything in the range. The M2 is arguably one of the best cars you can buy, full stop. There is a car that precedes the M2 that built that reputation for an amazing incarnation of what an M car could be, and it's this car. This is the BMW M1 Coupe. Now, it was a limited edition, only 450 were made, and they were all glorious. There's just something about this car that ties everything together. The short wheelbase, the incredible handling. The M2 is a brilliant new version of it, but there's something about the rawness of this car that just makes it a wonderful construction, a wonderful driving experience. We're at Le Mans right now. We're off to see the race in a couple of hours, and George and I drove down from London in this car. Getting to spend more time in this thing is just brilliant. But there's always something weird about this car. When you have an M flavored car, the M2, M3, M4, they have that naming convention. This car though is called the M1 Coupe. It has its name completely backwards. So why was it not called just the M1? That relates back to the whole origins of M cars for BMW. There was a time when BMW wanted to create a supercar, and they did, with some help from Lamborghini and a few hiccups along the way. They finally did create a car which was a magnificent piece of engineering, and depending on what you count the i8 as being, the only true supercar that BMW have ever made. And that car was the first car to get the M treatment, the M naming convention, and they call it the M1. And because of that, this car couldn't be called the M1. Weirdly though, despite the fact that, this isn't a mid-engine supercar, this is a small coupe with reasonable power and reasonable performance. This, in so many ways, is a better car than the M1 ever was. On the drive down to Le Mans, you pass many supercars of every flavor. In fact, I passed another journalist driving down in a gorgeous 30-year-old Aston Martin Virage. And in conversation about how awesome that car is, all he could talk about was this car. In fact, going as far as to Google how much they would cost. And to be fair, if you tried to buy one of these now, it would cost you at least as much as it cost brand new, regardless of how many miles you put on it. And everyone we've passed around here on the terraces out around Le Mans, their eyes have just gone like saucers every time they see it. When you realize what this is, it's not an M2, it is the M1 Coupe. People are just like, it's almost legendary. Manual transmission, pokey little engine, but enough power in such a small package to get you going ridiculously fast. It's been comfortable on a long drive, but get this out on a B road and it handles so well. It's one of those shining moments in BMW's history where they've created a car that is absolutely perfect. It kind of embodies the original 3 Series, or even going as far back as the 2002, the idea of a small format, perfectly formed car that is gorgeous to look at on the outside, but just brings that performance, that handling together for whatever the badge says, for whatever the paperwork says on this car as M1 Coupe. To me, this is really the true M1.